Yes, so guys, today we're going to be looking at the best, cheapest gloves under $250 in Counter-Strike Go in 2022. Now, obviously, when I say cheapest, I mean like kind of best value for money, but I've spoken about that before, guys. Obviously, these gloves aren't cheap, like, just don't be stupid. Anyway, let's get into it. So, starting off, we have the hand wraps BADLANDS in minimal wear, which you can get for around about $200. Now, yeah, for, hand wraps, I think these are really, really nice, and personally, I'm a fan of the hand wraps. Like, I don't know why, I just like the shape of them and stuff like that. They just look good in game. So yeah, these are a really good first pick. Then moving on, we have the driver gloves Queen JAGUAR in minimal wear, which goes for, again, around about like $200 to $205. And these aren't necessarily massive favorites of mine. Obviously here I've got my Neon Rider, but if you had like a Panthera Onka or something like that, then maybe it would go with that, but it's still a good value for money for a min wear pair of gloves. So yeah. Then moving on, we have the driver gloves Overtake in minimal wear, which you can get for around about $220. Now, these are a bit more of a darker kind of glove, but obviously, like on the inside, it's kind of yellowish orangey, so it depends on your loadout, but these can fit with most loadouts, and again, for a minimal wear pair of gloves, they're pretty good. Now we move on to another pair of hand wraps, being the hand wrap Slaughter in field tested this time. Now, the thing is, guys, these go for around about $250. Like, you're gonna have to sometimes pay a bit more, but you can get them for $250. Now, another thing, the wear is completely dependent on what people are willing to sell them for. So if you can get a pair for like $250 with a decent wear, and they won't look too bad, but you might have to wait a bit. Then we move on to the MOTO gloves POLYGON in field tested again. And guys, just like pretty much for the rest of these gloves, it's going to be the case where like you're not necessarily just going to be able to get them for $250 like straight away today. You might have to wait for like a good wear pair to go up. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, you guys can get these for, again, around about $250. And yeah, they're a solid pair of blue gloves. Now we move on to another pair of MOTO gloves, being the MOTO gloves Blood Pressure in field tested again. And yeah, guys, again, they go for around about $250. You can get them in a decent float if you wait long enough. But yeah, just a nice red pair of gloves. Now we've gone from blue to red to now yellow with the hand wraps Caution in Well Worn. So unlike the other ones, these are not field tested, and in Well Worn, they can still set you around about $250, maybe a bit more, but again, guys, just wait around. You'll find a good deal. Someone will put them up for $250. Someone who's quick selling them, who's being stupid. So, yeah, you can just buy that up, and boom, you've got yourself a nice pair of yellow gloves. And, yeah, it would go with, like, a really nice yellow loadout. Next up, we have the only pair of Broken Fang gloves, which are the Broken Fang gloves Jade. Now, I have these in literally every single video that I ever do, because I just think they're a solid pair of, like, green gloves. These are in minimal wear, by the way, and yes, again, guys, you can get them for around about $250. Then, moving on, we have another pair of driver gloves, being the driver gloves Black Tie in field tested, which you can get for around about $250. As I said, though, guys, normally a bit more than that, so you're gonna have to wait for a good deal. And unfortunately, these can look pretty scratched up. So if you want like a clean pair of gloves, these are definitely not the one to go for, but they're just really nice because they're kind of like black and white, and they're kind of just minimal and can go with a bunch of different loadouts. So yeah, it's kind of personal preference here. Next up, we have the last pair of hand wraps, being the hand wraps Overprint in field tested, which, as you know, the last ones did, guys, it goes for around about $250, and it just depends on if you can pick up a good, like, wear. But yeah, but I think, honestly, guys, this pair of gloves, like, it's such a nice pair of gloves. Like, the pattern looks really cool, the color's really, really nice, and yeah, just overall a very, very solid pair of gloves to invest in. Second to last, we have the Specialist gloves Crimson Web, which are in field tested and go for around about $250. So for a pair of Specialist gloves, this is a pretty good price. And as I said, if you wait around long enough, you can get a really, really good deal on a lowish float pair of these. So yeah. Finally, though, we have another pair of Specialist gloves, being the Specialist gloves Emerald Web in Battle Scarred this time, guys. These are some like OG gloves. So these are kind of a bit of a trash pick in my opinion, because like they don't look that great. But if you want like an OG pair of gloves, and you have like a green loadout, for example, then maybe this might be the pick for you. These are in Battle Scarred, as I said, and you can get them for around about $250. It's going to be hard for you to get them for $250 though, but I wanted to include them because they have sold for $250. So you can just wait around long enough and find a pair, or if you have a tiny bit more, if you can increase your budget a tiny bit, it'll be a bit easier for you to buy them. But hey, if $250 is your maximum, you can still get a pair of these. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below if I missed out any pairs of gloves that you think should hit this list. But remember, guys, they have to be, $250 on third-party websites or lower. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.